Hello, everyone. Welcome to our program, Life Musings by Dr. Padmaja Nandigama. I'm your host, Sirisha Akela. We have with us Dr. Padmaja Nandigama, who is a psychology faculty, life coach, motivational speaker, and also an academic advisor. How are you doing, Padmaja garu?
I'm doing bright and nice. A lot of sun falling in my face. So I'm very, happy.
Yes, and you're looking great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So today's topic is trust. Trust is a vital component in happy and successful relationships. It can take years to develop, but it can be destroyed in an instant. Today's modern society is built on trust, and in the absence of trust, fear rules. So my question is about trust issues. Why is it so hard for some people to trust? What is the root cause of it?
This is an excellent topic. As you said, trust is one of the building blocks of relationships. Be it like relationship between friends or relationships at work or personal relationships or anywhere. Any relationship is, based upon trust among many other factors, right? Trust is important because, if you ask me, how do you describe trust? Trust is a feeling. It's not a behavior as such, but it is a feeling where we kind of like have a perception about whether I can trust this person or whether that person trusts us or not, right? And it builds a relationship. And also one has to try to build that trust in a relationship to make it a successful relationship. So if somebody wants a relationship with any friend or any relationship, if you want it working and to be an effective relationship, you have to build that trust. So it's a backbone kind of thing, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Right.
So how do you improve and repair trust if it's lost?
Yeah. Previously you asked me what is the root for the trust, right? The trust builds right from our childhood. Erickson, a psychologist, says that when we are born, when you are a baby, when you're an infant, you go through a stage called trust versus mistrust stage. Like say, imagine you as a baby, you cry for food, you cry for diaper change, you cry if you're cranky, you cry if you're feeling sleepy. So your cries get the attention of your parents and your parents attend to you or your caregiver attends to you and, pacify your needs. So at that infant stage, you develop this trust on your caregiver, right? Mm-hmm. So when your trust is met, you kind of develop a confidence in yourself that, I can trust people around me. I can trust this familiar face who is coming and taking care of me. So you kind of develop that trust right from your infant stages. On the other hand, if you are not attended, if you are neglected, you develop mistrust. Well, I'm crying, nobody is taking care of me. So that kind of trust and mistrust starts right from our infant stages. Yeah. And how do we improve trust? As you said, when we are saying improve, that means you were hurt something at some point. You lost trust on somebody, and now you want to improve that or you want to repair that. So what is happening here when the reason behind you losing trust or anybody losing trust in a relationship is because maybe they were hurt. Maybe they, while they were growing up, they didn't have the good attachment style where they would trust other people. So what these people would do is they would not share information, they would hide information, they would not open up, they always have secret agendas. So they are competitive, they're jealous, they're possessive. So all these kinds of different traits, intermix with their process of, thinking or their behavior, and they spoil the relationships. So if a relationship has been spoiled, and if you want a relationship, and if you really think that that is an important relationship, then of course you have to work to build the trust. Yeah. So here, to build trust, to repair any relationship that has lost trust, the key important factor is communication. Communication is a tool among, many other things. Communication is a key tool to build your trust. Here, the communication has to be open. Right. The reason we are saying open, because you are open with a friend, like, because you and I, like, say, for example, have been friends for so long. A lot of things that interest me. What means a lot to me. My background, vice versa, the same thing. So I kind of trust you. So now I won't hurt you, or you won't hurt me, because my values, my ethics, my interests, my needs, so on and so forth. See, that is because you have that kind of trust, because I have opened up to her, right? I have opened up to her in the sense that I have talked to her about my feelings. I've talked to her about where I came from, what are my, values that are instilled in me. So that open communication is very important. And here, communication has to be, compassionate, empathetic. So, for example, if you don't show interest, why would I, trust you? Right. Because you are not showing empathy. You're not feeling for me. So I would lose trust for you. And then the most important aspect of any communication is listening. Nowadays, all we are doing is we listen only to come back with an answer, right?
React.
Yeah, to react. Because you're contemplating, okay, she's saying this, what do I say back? But if you want to build a trustworthy relationship, you have to listen. You have to listen to understand, right? So your communication should be open. Your communication should be consistent, because consistency builds trust. You're always there. Right. So I trust you. You're dependable. That's very important, right? Yes. So in situations where I am struggling, you are there and you see that. I don't have to tell you. You immediately will catch me. So that is consistency, and, compassionate, consistent, and competent communication has to be there. The communication which you do has to be competent in the sense that you have to contribute something to that. So using all these techniques, we can build trust, and obviously positivity, instill positivity into the relationship, speak good about the relationship, and be hopeful. So these kinds of things will repair the trust.
And don't you think the feeling should be mutual, right? It should be from both sides.
Definitely. See, that is why, say, for example, you feel like, let me quote a scenario. Sometimes it happens that, many times it happens that there is a misunderstanding. You have an expectation from a friend, and then that friend probably doesn't stand up for you, or, and you lose trust, or they reveal an information which you ask them to be kept as a secret, right? Or they don't tell you something important to them, or they don't share an important information from their side. So you kind of feel like, where is this relationship going? Because it's not mutual, right? Then, what you need to say, you need to come across to that person and put the situation in the open, because she might not be, or he might not be thinking in the same lines as you are thinking. They might be in a different frame. So bring it open, bring those issues which are bothering you, bring it open, and then talk to them and saying that, hey, I know this has happened. I feel that we are lacking this kind of communication in our relationship. Do you see a pattern, or, so that, if they really mean that this relationship should work, then they will change their behavior. Or if they don't want it, they'll come across and say, this is it. I can't do more than this in this relationship. So you have to set your expectations too.
So how do you know if someone you are dealing with has bad intentions or not?
Very good question. We underestimate people's behavior. and many people have non-verbal cues. We think communication is only talking and exchanging of verbal information. No, you have so many non-verbal cues. People rolling their eyes and closing their eyes or turning their head away, or twitching their eyes, or even body positioning. You can say that people who trust you or who are interested in talking to you will face you, or look towards you. People who are not interested in what you're saying, or people who are not interested in the proceedings, look away from you or move away from you. That shows that they're not interested. That those kind of non-verbal cues are very important. So if you are the one trying to build a relationship, trustworthy relationship, be cognizant of this. You might do or have these non-verbal cues which you are not aware of. So you have to be very much aware, stay focused. So that's why people say that when you're listening, do active listening, engage in the person, talk to the person. And this can happen when you can repeat the information. When a person is talking to you, you repeat the information, and so that you tell them that you are engaged in that. So that active conversation, active involvement is very important. So people will catch, I'm telling you. People, we underestimate, that other people are not psychologists, but all of us are psychologists. We can read the non-verbal cues, and even at work, this is more important at work, because at work, if you are showing this nonchalant behavior, and a lot of people show implicit bias by doing this, non-verbal behaviors, body language is very important, So be very careful of how you project yourself,
So talking about the psychology of trust in relationships, can you talk about that a little more?
Yeah, definitely. See, there is a psychological term called Johari's window, or a phenomenon, or let's say tool, Johari's window, which they use in at workplaces to assess your, trust in a relationship. Here, what they do is they look at relationships from 4 panes, like a window panes, right? One is a open window. Open window is open, like, you know what you are, I know what you are, it's open, everybody can see. Right. And the other window is hidden. It's hidden, meaning like, you can't see what is there, and also I can't see, it's hidden. And the other one is like, blind spot. Like blind spot for me is, I can't see my qualities, but you can see my qualities, right? And the other one is like, where it is like, you are not aware of what you are, but other people are also not aware of things. Yeah. So here, what we need to focus is on the open pane, Okay. So the open pane, the larger the open pane, the trustworthy relationship is. So how do you keep this relationship open? By sharing more. That's what I said. Like, if you share more, the window can be broader, the open window can be broader, and there is more trust. So
So what are some more effective ways to build trust and collaboration in the workplace, like you were talking before?
Yeah, see, workplace is very important because we develop trust at work too, and people assess, the relationships which you have with your manager, the relationships with you have your coworkers, these are built on trust, and even at workplace, they use the same principles, but here, as a manager, if you want to develop trust in your employers, in your stockholders, you need to develop this, have these strategies, which is like, open communication. If you are not going to tell them what your goals are, what your expectations are, so the employers and your, stakeholders are not going to have trust in you, because they don't know your goals, and they feel that you are not including them in the bigger plan. So they cannot own their, services, or they cannot feel included. So it's very important that if you are a manager, you have to keep the channels open. You have to keep the communication open, and the information should flow either way. That's very important. That's very crucial. So in workplace, the window should be open. Again, you should not share too much information. You should learn to share the information that is only needed to develop a relationship. Yes.
And it is true for businesses too.
Right. Exactly. It is because, see, a business is going to be successful when a manager or the upper management has a lot of trust in their employees and in their stakeholders. Yes.
Right. So in short, in today's business environment, building trust might just be your most important responsibility as a leader.
Right. For leadership, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be that person who is going to do, include everybody and lead a team, you have to keep the communication open, keep the communication consistent, keep talking to them on a regular basis. I'm going to trust a person who is going to be consistent, a manager who is going to, talk about their plans and be there every day instead of making an appearance when there is important meeting or something going wrong, right? And I want empathetic communication, and walk the talk. As a manager, as a leader, you have to walk the talk. You have to share the information. You have to be open. And in the same way, if your team has done well, if you have done well in the business world, share your profits or share the good information. Give the credit to everybody. Spread the good information. That builds the trust. That builds the harmony. So building harmony, building that kind of trust in your employers is very, very important. It doesn't matter how big your organization is. It starts from there. As we started, trust is the building block and the backbone for any relationship, effective, successful relationship. Yes.
So lastly, my question would be around the personal relationship, let's say between wife and husband.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's very important. Because trust, again, when I believe that you are going to be doing what you promised me, so I expect you to do that. Right. So don't promise what you can't, make happen.
Right.
So, set the expectations right, and of course, in any, marital relationship, trust is important that you don't cheat, So you have to be very careful in how you walk those lines, and open communication, being, empathetic, and being supportive is very, very important. And say, for example, if one of you feels like there is no trust in the relationship, bring it open, talk about it. What is that issue that is bothering you? Support each other by building that trust, building the confidence, come clean, right? So it comes down to your ethics and values. So, So
how much of expectations can one have with one's partner? You think there's certain limit, no expectations or too much expectations? How much is good,
right?
To build a trust.
Each relationship has its own limitations and expectations, and you build that. Each of you in a relationship has to come up with your own. What works for others will not work for you. But then have those things drawn up. Have a communication. You have to talk. You have to talk in terms of your financial expectations, in terms of your social expectations, and mostly you see problems that you hide information. Say, for example, the simple things is when you're talking to your in-laws or you're not sharing that with your wife, or you're talking to your own parents and not sharing with your wife, and vice versa. So the wife might feel betrayed that you are doing the talk behind her. Have that information open. Face that fear, and talk about those, uncertainties, so that you build the trust. So yes, very important. See, here you have to understand that both of you are going to walk the same goal, walk towards the same goal and build that trust. And as we said, the key factor here is communication. That's
very true.
Yeah, that's the mantra.
That's true. And it is vital for internal harmony and positive social functioning.
Right.
So the ability to effectively trust others, help other people also live happy and rich lives. So we will see all of you again. Thank you for joining with us. Watch us live on Mana TV International with YUPP TV, and for repeat telecast, subscribe to Mana TV on YouTube and also like our Facebook page to stay connected. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay smiling. Goodbye.
Bye.